What's going on? This is Burn the Ship podcast. It is June here at the podcast studio. I've got one of my friends, one of my clients, Tom Ward, here with JoJo's Fresh Market. And we're going to learn a little bit more about his journey and how he got into being a business owner, which I'm pretty excited to hear. JoJo's Fresh Market focuses on fruits and vegetables. I'm going to let you really get into the details of this, but an awesome new location that you guys just finished totally redoing. I was in there, what was it, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, right after you opened?
Like last week, yeah.
Yeah, so when was that? When did you start? When did you guys open?
About 2 weeks ago. It was
mid-May?
Mid-May. Yeah, so we're man, we worked on our space. We got it fully renovated. Put a lot of hard work and effort into it.
Absolutely. You know? I saw it. I saw all that hard work that you guys did. I mean, the spools that you've got painted in there, and just, you were telling me the story of getting the spools into your car, and having to move these, like, what was it? You moved your car to a different angle on the hill. Oh my gosh!
So we rented a truck. We rented a U-Haul truck to get these things.
Yep.
And so I thought in my mind, I said, it's going to be really easy. It's going to be great. I'm just going to go get these giant spools, like from Southwire.
Those big wire spools. You know what you're talking about, Carson? Like just those monsters. Yeah. Keep going.
And by my house, they have some, and this kind of like like an honesty box.
Yep.
Out there, and you just kind of like just help yourself. And they have a price on it, but I think it was like $40.
Right.
So I was like, man, this is such a great deal. I could totally use these, for this thing. And we could make a great display table. So I rented the truck, took it over there, and thought, it's going to be really easy. It was me and my wife and my grandson, Brentley, and that was it.
Yep.
Okay. If you've never seen one of these spools before, they weigh about 500 pounds.
That's what I was waiting for. Right. Yeah. Yep.
They are massive. So once we got over there, we got the truck opened up, and I started thinking, oh my God, this is going to be a challenge. We went and tried to move one, and they were stacked on top of each other.
Oh, really? I didn't even visualize it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were stacked on top of each other. So I pushed one off, which took a lot of effort. And then finally, I was like, oh my God, we got to get this thing on there. So what we had to do is we had to back up to a hill.
Yep.
Just to create
enough of an incline.
Just so we could kind of like roll them in the truck.
Yep.
And we were able to roll them in the truck, and it went kind of smooth.
Once
we got that figured out,
yeah,
it got kind of smooth, and then we just kind of swiveled them around, like that little Ross thing, pivot.
Yep.
We swiveled them in there and pivoted them around, and then we got all three of them in the truck.
So it's three, because you guys have three of them, then you painted them, and you got wheels on the bottom, so that allows for you guys to use those as almost like whatever's in season or whatever you guys want to kind of like showcase.
Yeah, we kind of put everything on wheels in there just to kind of make it easy to keep the store fresh. I know how important that is to my wife loves to move things around all the time.
Yep.
And my wife is she's actually JoJo, so I knew right out of the gate she was going to want to move the store around all the time.
Smart man. Yep. Yeah.
So I said, let's put it on wheels.
Yep.
So I put everything on wheels.
Perfect.
The only thing I didn't put on wheels was the counter. As you come in, where the register is at.
Yep.
And that's the only thing that's not on wheels. Everything else is on wheels.
That's the way to do it, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to take a step back now.
Yeah.
So where did the idea of JoJo's Fresh Market come from? What was the sort of like the beginning of this whole journey to where you are now?
Well, so my wife, she's worked a corporate job pretty much her whole life. She worked for Cisco Foods.
Yep.
And I guess it was really a subsidiary of Cisco Foods, but it was kind of like Cisco does food.
Oh yeah, we see those trucks driving all the time. I mean, they're on every highway. They're delivering to restaurants and every.
Yeah, on the back it says something like "Follow me to the next restaurant" or something like that. Well, she's worked there for a lot of years, and it just got to be just that corporate environment where you got the hammer coming down all the time.
Yep.
And you're like, man, I don't really want to keep going through this. And they were actually getting bought out by another competitor called Ed Don, which is another competitor in that space.
Yep.
So when they got that merger happened, this was back in March when they announced it, and they basically said that, hey, everybody's okay, but hey, Ed Don's got all their people.
Yeah.
And everything's good to go.
So kind of start to see a little bit of that writing on the wall, but at the same time, you've got that sort of, all right, what is the next step? And I want to make sure that for my family, I can provide. And so it's like, how are we going to go and create that independence is what it feels like.
Absolutely. So it was kind of scary. Didn't really know what was happening. So we just said, man, you know what? instead of just going to go find another job, because that was really the option.
Sure.
She just said, hey, I'm going to go look for another job. I was like, instead of doing that, I have another business that I do T-shirts.
Okay.
It's a T-shirt business.
Yes.
So, and I've had a lot of other businesses.
And that's Joyful?
Joyful State Custom
Yes.
Tees. Yeah. And so we have that for income, but then we had her job for income. And it was kind of like she needed somewhere else to go. So I said, well, instead of just going to go find another job, why don't we just make you a job?
Yeah.
And that way you don't have to worry about this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
don't have to worry anymore about somebody saying, hey, you just got bought out. We're making some changes.
Right.
You don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
What was her reaction to that?
And it was like, I could just see the relief on her face.
Is that right? That's
I could
awesome.
see the relief on her face.
Right.
So I think maybe in a way that she saw it as like a great moment and a great time to really strike, like, this is a great idea. Let's do something.
Absolutely.
We didn't know what we were going to do.
That was my next question.
Yeah. So this is in March.
Yeah.
So in the beginning of March, we had this conversation we were riding around about March 10th or so, because it was my birthday.
Okay.
And then we said, we love going to these fresh markets. We love going to these places out of town, these little country stores.
Yep.
We love doing that stuff. That's our jam.
Yeah.
So let's do that. And she said, okay.
I mean, it really seems to fall somewhat in line too with what she was doing before,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
absolutely.
it's not exactly, but it's definitely in that same vein.
It is in the same vein. So
sure.
it's really, it worked out well. And we always like doing that stuff. So we just said, hey, man, let's take a risk and let's do it.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
Yeah. So we just really, we made that commitment on March 10th, and we were driving around and we started looking for buildings.
Yeah.
And then when we made that commitment, it was probably about the 15th or so, the 16th, she actually quit her job because they were like, she wasn't in danger of getting fired or anything like that. It just got to that point of eruption to where you feel that.
That feeling.
Yeah, man. It's like, oh, man, something's coming. And
it's just weight on
I
you.
can't handle it anymore. This is ridiculous.
Yep.
It was just like, dude, we're going to pull the trigger on this other thing. Let's just line up some stuff to where we can make it happen.
So she burned her ship that day then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was that day.
Yeah, so she burnt her ship,
Yeah.
and we basically took our 401k
Yep.
and took some stock money that we had
Sure.
and just liquidated it and just said, let's do this,
That's awesome.
And so we, you've seen the store, so
Yeah, I have.
I feel like it looks pretty awesome.
I think it looks awesome too, and I've got a couple of things I want to bring up on that. One thing I want to bring up before that though, so you make this decision. How do you? I've been to the store. You have a ton of selection in there. So the way that you guys are sourcing your stuff, those relationships that you've made since March, right? Because it's June. This is a pretty quick timeline.
Yeah.
So how did that sort of fall into place? And where do you guys get your product? Those sort of things.
Well, first thing first was I had to build out the store.
Yeah.
So we had to do a complete renovation on the store, and we had to do most of the work ourselves.
And you guys are
to
located.
Save money. We're located at 835 Charles Hardy Parkway.
Yep.
In Dallas, Georgia, 30157.
Just down from the Costco, just down from
right down the street from the Costco. There,
it's probably Dodge dealership. I think is right out there. Yep,
that's right.
Okay,
yep.
So you guys know where that's at for sure.
Yeah. So come check us out, man.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be great.
So anyway, you're doing all the reno and you're
yeah. So we finally got all the reno and we just started putting everything together. And then it started getting we sat down and we came up with a plan.
Sure.
We said, hey, strategically, this is what we want to do. Literally, we had the space on, I think, the 28th or something like that of March.
I remember, yeah.
We locked that
that's
space
right
down.
when I met you.
And then I started just exactly what I did with you. I just started walking around, thinking about what I had to do, coming up with a plan on what to do, and just I wrote everything down. And I just kind of started just going down the list.
Sure.
And meeting with you, Will, was really a blessing.
Hey, I did it, man. I was grateful to have you.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Sure.
And just started, developing out everything.
Once those beginning bricks start to get in that path, right? You start to get the momentum too, and you can really start to see what your vision is.
It's so much fun. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Just doing all that stuff. I know it's stressful because you're just throwing money. You're just pouring money at something.
Investing. We're investing.
Yeah, we're investing money at something. But and at no point have I thought, like, oh my gosh, man, this is this is a daunting task. Never thought that at all.
That's great to have
I
that
felt like it's
attitude.
just this is a fun thing to do. Me and my wife are doing it together.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and you guys have great camaraderie and when you're there. I mean, I know when I walked in and was talking to you there at the store, it was good. To just kind of
She's
see
an
that.
awesome
Yeah,
person,
she
so
really is.
she makes it really easy.
And she's the
you know.
namesake for
That's
she
right.
is JoJo.
That's right.
So JoJo's Market.
But anyway, we started just thinking about where we're going to get our stuff from. So
Yep.
we wanted to get it as local as we could.
Right.
That's kind of like the main thing. So we went down to Atlanta Farmers Market, and we just started walking around and talking to
Is that
everybody.
right? Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I didn't really. We just started. We started out just going to talk to every single
Feet
vendor.
on the street.
Yeah.
That's
and
it.
just started
Yep.
shaking hands and talking to people, and who we liked is who we
forward with.
decided to talk to. You know,
Yep.
it's like, hey man, we like this distributor here is going to they've committed to helping us find what we want.
Absolutely.
And what we wanted was local as produce as we can get. We want Georgia peaches.
Yep.
We want as close to Georgia as we can get. Now, obviously, we know if you can't get it, okay, well then let's go to Florida. And
Sure,
get it.
Florida,
If you can't get
Alabama, I mean,
yeah.
yep.
Let's try to get as close as we can.
But local economy, and that's an
Yeah,
awesome thing to
absolutely.
do. And we all, I
Yeah.
mean, small business, local economy, and it's
Yeah.
a difficult area in this
Yeah.
space and time. So it's one of those things to see. I love seeing that growth.
It was really cool. So then we went down there, started shaking people's hands, started talking to people. We found out exactly who we wanted to partner with down there.
Yep.
And then after we did that, we even went down to some of the. If you've ever been to the farmers market, they've got all these little rows down there of, and they're just
different vendors.
They're
or?
different vendors, but they're local. They're local people that are buying from the distributors and turning around selling it.
Got you. Almost from a
out there.
wholesale capacity.
Yes, almost
Gotcha.
in a wholesale
Okay.
capacity.
Okay.
But so we are buying it directly from a distributor, but on the off chance that they don't have what we need,
Right.
like if we're looking for some moon grapes
Yep.
or something like cotton candy grapes or something like a blood orange,
Yeah.
and our distributor doesn't have it, we
There's
can go
an
out there and we have an alternative to go talk to people right then and there, and we can say, hey, I want this. This looks fresh to me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to buy it. So we're going down there 3 times a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're going down there picking up produce, going down there talking to people, looking at everything we're doing, and we're doing.
And I
it,
think
so.
that's probably, and I would have asked the question a different way, but you made it pretty simple for me right there. You guys are always having a different variety of fruit and vegetable, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's seasonal to some degree. Obviously, we've got Florida, you get a little bit different, temperatures and whatnot. So you can probably get some of those staples, but at the same time, it's going to be a rotating sort of like what's in season, what's local.
Yeah.
That's which is
And so
awesome
like
thing.
corn is really hot right now because this summer we
Sure.
got Father's Day coming up. We got 4th of July coming up.
Yep.
So corn is really hot right now, and it's that time.
I think
Plums,
the other, yeah.
and those kind of things like that are hot right now too. But then, at the end of July, those things will kind of taper off, and then other things will come in.
Right, you'll have those,
know.
the more falls.
Yeah. Then when people start moving over to potatoes and
Yeah.
and some other meatier things,
So, what has been one of those kind of like? I know your JoJo was giving you a hard time when I was in there the other day, and
Yeah.
she was saying, Tom's got to learn his fruits and his vegetables.
That's
So,
right.
so where are we at on that? Like, how do you
man.
feel? You got like almost all of them. You like 80%. I mean, it's rotating all the time.
Yeah,
so
it's
you never
rotating
know.
all the time. So I am getting
Keep you
better
on
at
your
it. But
toes.
I'm getting better at it through the crash course school of like, hey, just figure it out.
Just go for it. Yeah.
So literally, customers are very patient with me. So they've been really awesome.
Absolutely.
And also, our distributor down there and the people at the farmers market are pretty awesome too. So I'm just like, hey, what is? I don't really. My wife knows way more about
Sure,
it
of course.
than I
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
So I'm like, hey, what is in season right now? And then everybody will tell me, and then I'll kind of figure it out. And then we get on board with it. Customers help out a lot too.
Right.
They'll
let you know what they
they'll
want, too.
educate me really
Sure.
fast.
Yeah.
And I think they like it too, in some way.
Absolutely.
I feel like
right?
it's
They've got some
fun.
knowledge they're sharing with you.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing.
Yeah, and
you
you're
know?
open-minded too, and you got a great
Yeah.
attitude. So I mean, that's one of those things too. You're easy to have a conversation
Thanks,
with. So
man.
I'm sure that's
Yeah.
a big part of it as well.
But yeah, so I feel like we're getting better, and it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And so then you guys also, I think, kind of when I was in there, I honestly I bought flowers for my mom when I came down there. So you got the hanging baskets. It's like that.
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel kind of. Describe the other, because it's a lot of local stuff
Yeah.
as well, right?
Yeah, there's
But
a lot of
it's-
local
it's
stuff. Yeah.
Mother's Day
So,
gifts, those type of things. Mom's birthday.
Yeah, we're partnered with a local a flower vendor over there in Ackworth, and we get our flowers from those guys.
Yeah.
And they're hanging baskets. They're beautiful. We only get a select number of things. We only have so much room.
Yep.
So we got a select number of things that we can get, but we try to get things that are really that we think are cool and that customers have kind of commented on, and they think they're cool too.
Yeah.
So. I feel like if we think they're cool, our customers will think it's cool. So we kind of just kind of go with that, and we do go by the experience of the people at the nursery too. You know, like, hey, what's what is cool?
What's popular? What are folks? Yeah, what are folks into? Yeah,
what are people liking? You know.
Well, I'll tell you one thing I know that's cool there. So, what was the inspiration for the wall? Because you have a picture wall that says JoJo's, and it's with the lights, and I mean, it's really, I mean, it looks like, I mean, you're like, you see the pictures of people in Nashville or wherever at this restaurant or doing something. You guys have that wall there at JoJo's too. With the, is it greenery in the background?
Yeah, so we got like this kind of like what you got going on over here. You got some of these green vines. So we just got like this. So the inspiration came from we want the community to be a part of what we're doing.
I love it.
You know, so we want that. We want people to be excited and to have fun in our space.
That's great.
So we thought that, like, a social media wall is what we call it. I don't know if that's the right term for it.
No, that makes total sense to me, yeah.
But that's what we said, hey, man, we need like some kind of social media wall. And that's just, I don't know if there's a word for that, but we just,
absolutely.
That's what we wanted to see. So then from there, we just said, it's the way it is now. Our concept is we're going to change it with the seasons. So if y'all come out there at Christmas time, it should look like something different.
Yeah.
In the Halloween
season,
season,
okay, nice.
we're going to change it. We're going to make it a little different.
That makes
so that way it's cool for people to interact with it and have some fun with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we just so that was it. I mean, the whole little the jungle theme behind it right now. It's just because it is green.
So you got to get down there because it's going to be changed
check
out.
It out.
Yeah, because when it's fall, we're going to change it out.
So I think we got some sunflowers up there. We're just trying to keep it like, something lively and fresh and just be like, and we got this awesome sign that says, vibing at JoJo's.
That's what it is, vibing. I could have vibing.
Yeah, so it's really cool.
Yeah.
And we want people to go in there, take a picture with it, and enjoy it, man. Have fun with it. And everybody has.
Yeah.
People brought their kids in there and just take it, having like a little photo session.
Well, and you were saying your opening day, you guys had a line out the door.
Yeah,
which is great.
It was really cool, man. Yeah. People really came out and supported us. It was really amazing.
That's great to hear. I love hearing that.
It was really cool. But so that was just we just wanted to incorporate the people, and that was the whole thought process behind it.
Sure. So I know you guys are, and no pun intended, very fresh, right? This is very new business venture for you all. But what's the future look like? I mean, do you guys have any plans? What are your thoughts there?
Well, I mean,
grow community.
Yeah,
get an audience.
Our store is 1,700 square feet.
Yep.
So it's I don't know. I have no concept of what is small or what's large.
Sure.
I just know that, hey, this is what we got.
Yep.
And this is what we're going to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the way it is now. Is we're focusing on fruits and vegetables, and then we're wanting to have like somewhat of a, I don't know a better term for it, but somewhat of a Cracker Barrel feel.
Yeah.
With the country vibe. We like that.
Yep.
That's us.
Yes.
So that's just kind of like that's our wheelhouse.
So just building that community and building. Yeah.
And then local stuff, like we got some dog treats in there from a local person.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some seasonings in there, and some fish fries stuff in there from a local guy.
Well, what was the thing that I saw? You had like the salsa pack or the guacamole pack, and so you kind of got these like, it's not, I wouldn't say full pre-prepped meals, but there's definitely some kind of guides and some other sort of things you guys put together.
We came up with like this guacamole thing, and we just kind of like put together the ingredients that would be in the guacamole.
Yeah.
And just said, hey, here, and it can even throw a little bowl in there too.
Right.
Just so we can here's it's ready to go.
That's it.
You do it, and we got like a salsa thing as well.
Those are the two that I saw. That jumped out to me for sure.
So we also have some other things like. We got some peach cobbler mix and stuff like that in there too.
Yep.
That you can buy the peaches and then get the mix and then put the two together, and have something really cool. But we also there's so much stuff in there. It's kind of hard to like. But the goal is the next step is we want to get into once we get this down, we're probably going to. Our next phase is going to do some more renovations.
Okay.
In the back, we have a large warehouse back there in the back. It's probably about 1,400 square feet.
Oh, wow. Same footprint as up front.
Yeah, in the back. So we're probably going to try to turn that into somewhat of a kitchen back there.
All right.
And then we're going to try to start doing our own stuff, like white labeling our own stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, start packaging and start maybe cutting up some vegetables for people and just doing that kind of stuff. And So that's the next step. That's phase 2. But I don't know. We're thinking next year is when we're going to be
I think
doing
like
that.
you said,
So,
this is you've been 2 weeks, right? So it's
it's
great
we
out the
got
gate.
we definitely got dreams. We got aspirations.
Which you got,
know.
yeah. I mean, you have to, but you're also realistic too. It's like let's get it going. Let's figure out what we're doing right now, and make sure that our customers like what we're putting in front of them, and just grow that base out. What's been your favorite vegetable or fruit that you've tried that you've never tried before?
I would say that I had some dragon fruit, and that was really unusual. It's very seedy. It's a very seedy item.
Yeah.
Like when I say it's got a lot of like those little black seeds in it.
Yeah.
It's a white fruit on the inside.
I wouldn't even know it.
Yeah. I didn't know it either.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's like, what in the world is this? But that was pretty neat trying that. You know, and I like that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Like that, the dragon fruit. It looks like what you would think a dragon would, like a dragon egg.
It almost has like an odd texture to it.
Yeah.
So you can almost like spoon it out.
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd.
Yeah.
And then even like a fresh coconut.
Yeah.
Like I've never had a fresh coconut before. You know, like when you go to a resort or something like that,
slice the top off and you got like that the white in the inside, right? Like that meat.
Yeah, I've had that before, but never like the experience of doing it yourself.
Sure.
Knocking a hole in it and pouring it into your glass or whatever. Yeah. I've never had that experience before, and that's pretty neat.
Absolutely, that is.
That's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, what you said, corn's popular right now. What else is flying off the shelves? What do you guys?
Peaches. Georgia peaches are flying off the shelf. Awesome. Everybody loves that. Mm-hmm. Cherries, we got some cherries down there that people love.
Some cherries.
We got some Japanese sweet potatoes in there. Which if you've ever had one of those, it's really sweet.
I'm a big sweet potato fan.
So you got a regular sweet potato. Which we carry that too.
Okay.
But we got a Japanese sweet potato, which is sweeter than a sweet potato,
is that right?
and it looks like an Idaho potato on the inside.
Really?
It's the consistency. If you close your eyes.
Yeah.
And put it in your mouth, the texture tastes like an Idaho potato, like a baked potato.
Yeah.
But the taste is like a sweet potato, except it doesn't. A sweet potato has a little bit of it's sweet, but it has a little bit of something else to it.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't have that little something else. It's just sweet.
Okay.
So if you had some cinnamon sugar butter,
right?
Or not just cinnamon butter.
Yeah.
It would be like, that would be good, man. It'd be good, yeah. Yeah. But see, that's the kind of stuff we try to do all the time.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get some new stuff.
Well, just to give people a different view, right? And then to have somebody who can tell them about it too. It's like, we got the sweet potato, but have you thought about trying this? You know what I mean? And that's a great component to have, especially in Dallas, because there's not a ton of those options out near you guys.
Yeah, that's right.
So I like it. I'm trying to think if I've got anything else. We've kind of wrapped up. Is there anything else? Well, first of all, we need to make sure you said your address.
Yeah. So we're at 835 Charles Hardy Parkway, Dallas, Georgia 30157. We are on social media. We have Facebook. We're at JoJo's Fresh Market.
Give them a follow.
Please do. And we have a website, but it's more just for the address. If you want it, it's JoJo's.
Check hours, things like that.
Yeah, check the hours and all that stuff. You can also check the hours on Google, though.
Perfect.
You can literally look us up on Google and say, hey, what are the hours for JoJo's today? And it'll tell you we're open or we're not.
Great.
It tells you what's going on. And we're also on Instagram, too. And I guess we'll have that.
We'll throw the Instagram handle up on the end with the other things, and then if you go in there and get a picture, make sure you tag JoJo's Fresh Market's
please
Instagram
do.
handle.
Share it.
Absolutely.
That's the whole thing. Come in, take a picture with your family, with us. We love that. Take a picture with us.
Absolutely.
We got. We try to make it fun, so we'd love to have everybody down there and just come down here and check us out.
Perfect. Well, I really appreciate you coming by and recording this with us in the studio. I have been down for JoJo's Fresh Market, but I have got to go back now because there are a few fruits that I've never even heard of before that I want to try, or vegetables. And I'm sure there'll be something else down there by the time I'm there that you may not have today, but it'll be there in a couple days. So it's worth going back and checking in and getting to know Tom and JoJo and their family, because your family's down there too.
Yeah, our grandkids are down there every other day. Our kids, everybody. So we try to keep it as family as possible. So we want it to be a fun place.
Well, I'm excited to be a part of this journey with you. I appreciate you coming on the podcast today.
Yeah.
And go check out our boy down at JoJo's Fresh Market, Tom and his wife JoJo.
Awesome, man. Thanks, man.
Thanks.